demonic angel. I'm going to go ahead and do demonic angel. Tonight I'm going to do my recommended YouTubers list. I'm kind of going to try to go through this a little fast, and maybe kind of depending on if everybody else has something else to do the rest of the evening, film another video. But you know, I just wanted to not, sometimes I kind of get carried away with the stories, and I think that loses attention on a subject like this. So I'm going to just go, I've got my computer open, I'm just going to kind of go through a list here and talk about anything that stands out. I'll probably provide like a 2 dozen maybe links in the description, because you know, I'm not going to be able to list everybody I talk about. But if you're looking for, you know, content and whatever, you know, we'll just talk about that. Book review still coming, and I just posted my first TikTok video. So you know, you can do 10 minutes. So I have to, like, you know, cut things down here. But yeah, so that's the thing I'm going to, I think it's the most popular platform. A lot of iffy things about it, but I just kind of wanted to expand myself, I guess. So yeah, we'll just get started. Yeah, I've got my computer open, and yeah, I hope you guys are having a good night. And this is some random kind of you know, video like this, but I don't know, I think some people appreciate it. Okay, I think her name is Sanez. She's a woman from Sweden who, you know, she describes herself as an elder goth. So she does really cool makeup and other tutorials like that, and I just, you know, I really dig the style. I love goth culture, and yeah, so love the whole scene like that. Yeah, if you like makeup, goth stuff, check out her channel. Sven Rollick, you're gonna have some hot tea here. He is an American who actually lives in Asia somewhere now, and so he's American who was in the military, and he ended up doing an occult book collection. So a lot of his videos are like that, or he'll unbox or sort of review some of his books. He has done recently a personal video where he just kind of talks about himself in general, you know, for like half hour. That's really the only video he has that's focused like that. You know, so yeah, I think his perspective is really cool. He's got a lot of you know, occult book references. I mean, hopefully mine can be half as good, really. Magister Clavis. So he profiles a lot of the different demons of the Ars Goetia. He's from Europe, so he got that, you know, beautiful European voice. I really like people's different accents in general. I just find it fascinating. I think if accents were something to look at, it would almost be like staring, but it's just more like, you know, oh, just a curious and, you know, fascination. But I think that's how, you know, when different, you know, people of different cultures kind of come together, and there's sort of this like, whoa, you do this differently than me, or talk differently than me, dress differently than me. And, you know, I think a lot of times that's just a friendly fascination. But, yeah, he profiles all that. He gives tips on the Goetia. Really outstanding channel. I could be wrong, but I think he is somebody who likes Berg. Berg is become a living god. Okay, so I guess we'll get into that next. Yeah, so if you're looking for Ars Goetia, definitely check him out. Become a living god, basically, that is affiliated with E.A. Coetti, and if you know, like, don't really know too much about him, he was a really popular black magician on YouTube. I mean, I think he almost had 1,000, you know, 100K subscribers, but somebody you know, like a murder happened, and he was somehow blamed for it and taken off, I believe, YouTube and some other platform, maybe Facebook, Twitter, or something like that. But I believe his books are still available on Amazon. He still has Become a Living God, which I believe is something he started. And it's just a place for left-hand path, black magicians, theistic Satanists to kind of network really, and look at services that are offered. So yeah, but although I don't know. Okay, so I'll say this: I watched him for a lot of years on YouTube. I do not agree with everything that he thinks, but I don't agree with everything that anybody thinks. I take what doesn't kind of fit into my, what really doesn't go with me or make sense to me. It's okay to fucking disagree with people. That's a point of conversation, and at least I think most people who open and intelligent are of the mind that it's not all about green, but it's about learning. And it's okay to think different. It fucking makes the world go around a little bit. And yeah, I really liked a lot of his stuff. So I mean, he was really big into the Goetia. I mean, he would film really fucking cool rituals. I did like how he just kind of actually had a lot personally in common with me, the way he described his background. So so I found Berg through him, and then a lot of other famous black musicians, Orly Stewart, J.S. and Barbie Garrett. So they're a couple, and they do black magic. Bill Duvendak, and then somebody I gotta give a fucking special shout out to, as I described before. It kind of, now that I've almost got 1,000 subscribers, it seriously made me feel like if I was in the front row of, oh man, I don't know, a Danzig concert, and Danzig just came up to me and started talking to me, just sit next to me, or stand next to me and be like, what do you think about this? Just but really interested. It felt like I don't know, maybe people's first big break or something, when they sort of become famous in some way, and you're like, oh my gosh, the big guy recognized me. So Behemoth stopped by on my chat last month. And his channel is outstanding as fuck, very masculine. But his big thing is he does a lot of basically sigil and enchant. So you could, whatever. One example is, he does some really good ones for President Marbus, and then you can just kind of put that on repeat, just listen to that. And but I mean, he goes all out, the fire, and he gets he's got the place, the space. I mean, he just really sets that up. He talks a lot about, life as, on the left-hand path as a parent, getting sober, dealing with the death of people. So he very much talks about his human side, that are, I mean, issues for all of us as people, but then, it's specifically, in the left-hand path, whatever, living that lifestyle. So, I mean, you can be closed about this lifestyle, but at some point, I mean, it's definitely, if you make time for this kind of shit, it's part of you, So, yeah, he's really, really fantastic, actually. Really cool of them to stop by. So, thank you again, Behemoth. Of course, love the band, love the channel, and hail Satan. Fuck yeah. Oh my gosh, it still feels naughty to say that. That's what makes it fun, at least to me. I guess it's supposed to be exciting like that, right? Diat Darling, I hope I'm saying that right. But anyway, she is, she has she talks about Thelema basically on her channel a lot. And she's very well spoken. She dresses really, almost like, if you imagine the Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley kind of era of Thelema. She got the, I mean, she really got this, her wardrobe down. Fantastic. But if you're looking for a woman presenter on Thelema, very knowledgeable, very, clear spoken, give her a check out. I'll definitely include her in my link. Occult Demon Cassette, they are funny as fuck. So it's a lot of 70s, 80s, and 90s VHS uploads of basically what was being put out to the public during the Satanic Panic. But it was like, you know, in different seminars and whatever they would present to the public, one of them is like a 10-minute video, basically, like, or to parents. Is your child into the occult? They're withdrawn. Are they listening to Metallica? There's this one guy who's a fucking nut job, and I love him. What the heck is his name? Blaine? Oh man, I'm not quite right on this, but Blaine Taylor, I believe. And he would go up on stage and shit, like people would play like a Metallica cover, teenagers or something, and he'd be like, this is not revering Jesus or God, and you know, we need to fucking talk about Jesus in our music, and rock and roll is, you know, the devil and all that kind of stuff. And it talks about how there's a VHS uploads about Dungeons and Dragons being evil, just the whole satanic panic kind of stuff. I think he's even got like a documentary on Sean Sellers, who's a guy who said he murdered his parents in the name of Satan. And so this really, you know, stirred all these people during the Satanic Panic. But yeah, that if you want to have a retro occult night, which I have done personally. You know, just fucking binge old school stuff. Oh, I love 80s and 90s nights, if you want to call it that. Board games. Oh, fun times. Reading hardcover books. Anyway, Dakota of Earth, he's kind of like a hippie, but he goes around to different cultures, different countries, and he always, if there's a psychedelic involved, he'll try it. But he's actually a very, very intelligent guy. I believe he's from America, but he talks about his experience with peyote, mescaline, but also like the whole, you know, the culture like that, they're going to, you know, a lot of the times be into God, spirits, demons, and, you know, the supernatural, as kind of goes together, you know, if you study humans. So yeah, you know, he'll present on that. So if you like that kind of stuff, you know, hippie vibes. I love hippie stuff. I love goth and hippie culture. So I'm very much attached to both of them. You know, some days it's all about the flowers and the feelings and everything's, you know, smiling and trippy and just fun. You know, it's important to remember to laugh and keep a childlike perspective on things. I believe that it well, helps ground one. Anyway, Dr. Eric Berg, not paranormal. Well, I kind of you know, really a lot of ideas from him. I've read a lot of medical textbooks, a lot of them over the years, but he really puts it together. I think he is a massage therapist, actually. And but he straight up talks about how it is. He talks about, you know, the benefits of apple cider vinegar, garlic, the damage of too much sugar. It talks about the benefits of fasting. Things that really work are cheap and accessible, you know, to the average person. He even has a book like The Emotional Eater's Guide. So if that's something, you know, I really, you know, like some people, I really don't have a good sense of taste, so I'm an emotional eater kind of. Eventually, I'll just, you know, if I don't care, I'll just eat whatever. But it's kind of more like, I just don't, even though I'm an excellent cook, because I love putting that smile on people's face. You know, when people like I watch people and eat my food, and when they like it, it means a lot to me. So I am kind of emotional. When I make bad dishes, I fucking get so emotional about it, because it's like I didn't make everybody happy, which is like, you know, a crazy thing to think. But, you know, nevertheless, it's just like, yeah, I've really incorporated a lot of his ideas into my practice. So maybe I'll fast for a demon, you know, dedication kind of thing, and it's also healthy. And President Marbus is the demon of health, so, you know, tying things together. Trying to get through this list. Lamont at large, he goes through cemeteries throughout the United States. He lives in his vehicle, and he profiles typically, I'd say 2 to 3 dozen graves per cemetery. And he'll talk about maybe the most famous residents, you know, and but he's got a great presentation. He's a great storyteller. He has other people, maybe local folks, come on and talk about, a particular murder, and then, kind of will blend it with myth. He's even talked about 1 or 2 paranormal experiences he's had, which, you hang out at cemeteries long enough, it's going to happen. It's going to open you up to a lot of possibilities. Ancient Divine Flame, she does a fantastic Luciferian channel. Just a lot of left-hand path in general. She's a very beautiful woman. So if you like that kind of stuff, check her out. Satan's Priestess, she does a lot of really rad drawings about all different goetic demons, and she talks. She actually will write prayers to Satan, to Lucifer. She'll kind of, almost like me, kind of use it interchangeably in a way, and she'll share those things. She'll say it's copyright her, but she wants to share that idea. I really like that. I really like the involvement, because that's so personal. And but she's a really heck of a drawer, a hell of a drawer. Oh my God, that was funny. I mean, yes, on the Satanic Channel, it's okay to say the hell with it, but I swear when you can't swear all the time, it sometimes is kind of hard to let loose and swear. Can't swear in front of my kids, so yeah. But yeah, great channel. I love the drawings. I love her dedication. She's an African-American middle-aged woman who's a Luciferian, as described on her profile. So I love seeing people of different races, cultures, even different regions in the United States, whatever, different places, rich and poor, different, all these different kinds of walks of life. I just love the presentation and perspective of everybody else, really. Damien Eccles, so Stranger Things season 4. Eddie Munson, he's based off Damien Eccles. Damien Eccles was imprisoned as a teenager for a long time. Oh God, he might have got out of jail like 13, 14 years ago. But he didn't kill him and 2 other guys, 2 other teenagers. They didn't kill some kids. It was probably somebody else within the family or community. But Damien, in court, he would talk about how he openly practiced Wicca and witchcraft, and he dressed like a goth. This is, I think this was 1993. So they and this is down in the South in the United States. They fucking put his ass in jail for a lot of years, and him and his 2 other co-defendants, they didn't do this. They did get released from prison. Now Damien Eccles has a really in-depth magic channel. He talked about practicing ritual, got him through jail. So this stuff really means a lot to him, and it still does. And he's been on a lot of different platforms that way. But he's honestly one of the smartest people I've ever heard talk. So. He took that opportunity all those years in jail to expand his mind and practice magic, and he's got matching tattoos with Johnny Depp. So I believe Depp's probably an occultist. Marilyn Manson, I think the 3 of them got their little goth tattoos, which is super cool. It's like a bromance thing to do. I think that's really great, entertaining. What Magic Is This? He's a Canadian guy. He will have somebody else, man, woman, whatever they're going to talk about topic, and they'll kind of co-present. He works in a museum, and he's been an occult nerd for, he talks about since he was a teenager. So he really is able, he'll take Eliphas Levi or Aleister Crowley. He'll talk about one of Crowley's books for an hour just to summarize it, but you come away with such a rich point. He talks about Carl Jung's paranormal experiences, just kind of random trivia that's a lot of fun too. Occult trivia, really check him out. I'll include him. Abby the Witch, she is really cool. She's got in contact with me a couple times. Her channel is probably 600, 700 subscribers now, but she's a wonderful gal. She does her makeup and presentation very beautifully. And she just practices a lot of different things, ranging from tarot to just jump on and tell a personal story. And I've got to, catch up with her and everything. And yeah, our friendship, really means a lot to me. So I appreciate it. I love when women befriend me. I'm not gonna lie. There's just something about it that makes me feel oh, like we're having, you know, like a girls' time, and I don't know, just kind of that sense of that. And I think in a way it's because back in the 90s in this really small religious town, I did, you know, people could be friends with me a little bit, but not really, because I wasn't, you know, wasn't Mormon. So it's nice to have like real friends, I think. So in a way, I'm kind of living out my, you know, 90s having a girl best friend kind of idea, or just somebody chit chat. It's a lot of fun. Serenity Kiona, she doesn't get enough views. She is an African American woman, probably my age, maybe younger. And so I'm in my 30s, my mid 30s here. Oh, I was born in the mid 80s. I'm getting fucking old, guys. But at the same time, I'm not old, not even quite middle aged yet. So, you know, I'm just a regular adult. Yeah, so she posts a lot of Goetia content, book reviews, ritual objects. I mean, really great stuff that any occultist should be looking at anyway. She really deserves a view, so I'm going to post her. Just the quality. Satan and Sons, they do services like they'll connect you with a demon, whatever. But if you're really looking for that service, I mean, fuck, you know, like I think they really know what they're talking about. They do a lot of videos on an enchant. So if you're looking, for example, President Marbus, Duke Murmur, you know, that's all there. And, you know, if you put that on replay and you fucking memorize it, you can, you know, use that kind of, you know, copy that rhythm in a ritual, or really just, it'll get you into that hypnotic state to draw sigils. So they have a lot of that. I really suggest them for the enchants. I'll include them. Spectre Ball, man, I hit up him to talk, and he had maybe 500 subscribers at the time. Now I think he has 5 or 6, maybe 7,000, because I saw he was posting Goetia content. He stops by my channel every once in a while. He's been on the live stream before. I need to, of course, check up on his channel. But with anticipating that I'll have more time by the end of the year, you know, I kind of don't kick myself in the ass when I don't really get around to everybody else. You guys know I love you, and I'll catch up with you when I can. Satanic International, Zach Black. He basically he's kind of like a stoner hippie, but he's like an atheist Satanist. And but he's got a lot of maybe funny personal stories. He likes a lot of the same music I do. You know, we talked a couple of times, nothing in depth really. But he doesn't post content as much as he used to, but it is still there, and his channel is expansive. He's got an online network. I think that he kind of seems like he's got some other shit going on in his life right now. But it used to be really important to him. He like started one of the first online satanic networks, which is still open today. So really cool. Nathan Wolf, he hasn't posted anything in like a year. Canadian guy who talks about, you know, his experiences. He shows everybody his occult book collection that's expansive, and just some of his thoughts on, you know, oh, he draws beautiful grimoires. I mean, like detailed, very. It's the most beautiful personal grimoire I've ever seen. So I'll include him, so you can easily find that, because he only have a handful of videos. Casting Cauldron, she's a witch, middle-aged woman, redhead, you know, fiery, and she just does a lot of Goetia, Luciferian content. You know, she'll demonstrate some, you know, cleansing your space types of rituals. Just kind of chit-chat, really down-to-earth woman. Recommend her. Black Finch, he's got, you know, he talks a lot about video games, but at the same time I think that translated into the occult interest for him. He's really cool, very well spoken, really sharp dresser. So he's very much like, you know, he draws you in with that. But it's almost like a, you know, like each video's got its own vibe, really. Foolish Fish, his channel is expansive, a lot of book reviews. If you are looking for occult book content, this is the channel to go to. Foolish Fish. He posts almost every day, and it's very great videos. Apotheosis, Spiritual Knowledge. He posts a lot of great stuff. Yeah, I think I tried to reach out to him. You didn't, whatever. But yeah, so it talks about, you know, the Ars Goetia is the focus of his channel. Really good, very well spoken. So I think he's got an accent, European. But you know, I like the Goetia aspect of that. Esoterica, so his name's Dr. Justin Sledge. He's a real doctor and professor. And he goes around to other people's cult channels and he drops some, you know, good vibes. And his stuff is so fucking intellectual that it goes over my head. And I've read a lot of books. But this guy, he's interested in everybody's different beliefs. He's a Jewish, well, I mean, at least, you know, by ethnicity. But he's seriously interested, and he's really interested in the dark arts and black magic. And so I think you could otherwise describe him as open-minded, but you could see, you know, like his interest is very obvious. So let's see here. Ascension 2020. Okay, so he's my friend, really rad. He ended up moving somewhere else in Europe due to some personal reasons. So we had 2 channels, one for music and the occult, that he was kind of starting up, but he hasn't been on in about a year. He says he's planning to return to his channels. So he actually gave me a copy of his book called Paimon, you know, King Paimon. It's like 400 pages, and I'm 3/4 of the way through it. And I'm going to do a book review on it, and then I guess he's going to edit and publish it, you know, a couple updates and editing things. And, you know, get back on YouTube. So it was a real honor and a pleasure. You know, I think he said stuff to me that, hey, I like the way you describe ghosts and your intuitive approach to tarot, which really makes my day to think that, you know, kind of connect with somebody in that way. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to have nothing but good things to say about his book, and hopefully you guys it'll be available soon, you know. So I guess he's settling in elsewhere. Tiara Princess of Wands. So she's the channel of my friend Black Magic Sorcerer, who he's asked me to profile a missing family friend, and my visions ended up becoming about, you know, so probably say like 90% accurate, 85, but you know, a lot of the visions I translate what these visions mean, and there's a little bit where it's like maybe not somebody's hobby but their job, because things like that do get lost in translation, or you know, I have to interpret information, my visions, but pretty good, you know. So she's his friend. She does a lot of great tarot. She's Dutch and she's really awesome. I mean, just a lot of all-around cult content. Merlin Ravensong. He has been on for years and years, and he's a great African-American occultist, left-hand path kind of guy. He's been, you know, he goes around college campuses and different you know, he's like into the festivals. But yeah, he'll talk about book recommendations and, you know, simple practices. Check him out. Again, Black Magic Sorcerer. He's probably got 600, you know, and his content's really varied. It's really you know, he's just a normal-ass guy, you know, filming black magic, which is, you know, probably why we connect as friends. Not too much else I want, because I'm going to fucking hopefully be able to figure out if I can do one other video. Enoch Putricelli, so we believe he's affiliated with Berg as well. Really great magician with Ars Goetia, and you know, he'll have drawings and things like that. He's very focused, energetic, at the, you know, same time just like very serious. Lord Josh Allen, he does a lot of hippie stuff, but he's also got the philosophy going. He reminds me of this full-blown 60s. I strive to dress like that on hippie days, absolutely. So, but at the same time, I mean, also strive to, you know, think of some of the profound things he does. So he's very cool. Michael W. Ford, Luciferianism guy, who's really popular. He doesn't have a Luciferian church. If you're looking for Luciferian content, you have to check him out. No, his books are not perfect, nor do I agree with everything he thinks, but he's a highly intelligent man. I guess he has a master's degree in history, and I really think he lays down a lot of foundations for Luciferianism, because it specifically is that. A lot of Ars Goetia, talking about, you know, leaving maybe, you know, Christianity behind. You have to check him out if you like that kind of stuff. Dragular Dark Ambient. So we do collaborations on sigils. I'll do a sigil video, you know, like by candlelight with like blood and incense and the whole setup. And then he'll, you know, put his music to it. So you can find that through my channel. But I'll link him. Black Witch Coven. She's an Australian woman, middle-aged. I mean, you know, I don't think she ever ages. Very beautiful. She's got a lot of good, sensible things to say. Like, if you're interested in black magic, what's the first thing you should do? And of course, she says stuff like, practice meditation. Don't just jump right in. Study a lot. You know, just being. I find that really realistic, as opposed to saying, yes, jump into demonology right now, forget God. You know, I think that you have to kind of put out some warnings. I mean, in fact, my friend, Ascension in 2020, his name's Jacob, he taught you, you know, the first third of his book, maybe a little less, talks about precautions, you know, just kind of that you need to apply when doing magic, which are, I mean, it's very realistic. You can't just jump in to the deep end of the pool. You have to, you know, learn to swim the shallow end. I guess we'll call it that way. Tattooed Spirit. Beautiful, extensive channel on just the Rider-Waite deck tarot. He's a reader. He's a very, very guy, like he draws you in because he just has, he's kind of got like an 80s rocker appeal for a middle-aged guy. So, but he's very laid back, approachable. Yeah, like a laid back kind of biker California sort of guy. But I mean, very, very well spoken. Of course, he has his own practice, and he's read cards for celebrities. Yeah, Behemoth, and I think that's everybody I'm gonna get on my list tonight. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. This is just a sample of those channels. I'm still getting back to a couple of you on email, and then but otherwise I'm all caught up. So I'll talk to you guys fucking later. Bye.